Okay, we have a nice condensed agenda tonight, but one of the first things we want to do is the mayor would like to introduce his new supervisor for the service department, so that we can all meet the service and then he can go to work.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our new service supervisor, Steve Zernak.
Hi, Steve.
It begins with a D, it's very confusing, but it's silent, so I'll put that out there now, and if you saw the spelling, it would probably throw you off, because it threw me off.
Yeah.
So not an engine Zernak, excellent.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few others.
We got too many names in service. So if you want to tell a little about your history and...
I don't know, I got my start right out of high school in public service, working for the city of Rocky River. Went from summer help to service worker, got my CDL. Spent a few years at Rocky River, spent several years working down at the Justice Center inside the jail for Cuyahoga County. Went to Westlake, spent years as a service worker slash run some second shift work, and then now I'm here. Go short and sweet.
Well, welcome.
Well, thank you.
And you're working night shift at this point, right?
Yes.
So your hours are?
Are 7:30 to, well, this morning 7:30 to 8, but 7:30 to 4 a.m. But if it snows, we stay for 12s. Get the roads cleaned up. Next shift comes in, does the same thing.
There were a lot of disappointed kids this morning that you
Yeah.
did such a good job.
My son was one of them. He kept bragging about how there was going to be no school.
Yeah.
I told him, no, there's going to be lots of snowplows out.
Well, welcome.
Well, thank
Is
you.
there anything anybody would like to ask? Or he's just really joined our ranks, so not fair to put you on the spot.
Right.
Just wait, though.
It's okay.
We'll invite
I've been
you
under the
back
hot seat.
again.
for-
Jumped in with both feet, so.
Yep.
Right, the ground run.
We'll invite, John can tell you, we'll put you on the spot, right?
It'll be a 15-minute.
I don't know.
I like
Sure you
it.
don't put on for it.
We're kind of hoping it doesn't snow a lot, but it's snowing now, so.
We'll have guys out there. You'll be able to make it home safe.
I think if it gets as cold as they say, it won't snow. Well, welcome.
Yes,
And you are
thank
free to leave whenever, since we know.
Yeah, I got to get the guys going.
Yeah. In case you want to eat before you start, too. Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
First up on the agenda is the resolution for Spruce Hill and the sidewalks. Mark?
Right, so like we talked about last time, this reappeared before Planning Commission as a result of an appeal taken by the applicant to the Court of Common Pleas. Planning Commission had basically reapproved the final site plan and removed the condition that they go to the BZA for an appeal, or a variance rather. The last remaining issue is the sidewalk issue. Yesterday, the administration had, I think, reached an agreement, and I'll give you a little exhibit here. The sidewalk for Phase 3 would continue down Spruce Hill Drive, and the applicant, CV1, is agreeable with this. So I think we have a resolution of council is agreeable to it. The sidewalk would extend down Spruce Hill Drive here and cut off somewhere where this pink line's at. That way, that would alleviate the residents' concern about their front yards being truncated by a sidewalk going through, because they're not large front yards, and I think everybody's in agreement.
Well, there's one other
with that.
point, can I see that, please?
Where was
That's important.
the sidewalk before, all the way
So,
down?
the current sidewalk, this is the new development here. The current sidewalk comes all the way through here. That's why we asked Mark, work with the developer to say, let's extend it down through here, and we don't need it through this, because these don't have those in there either, I don't believe.
No, they don't.
Oh, they do right here? Okay. So that this one,
Well,
as a
they,
compromise, we said, let's just have it flow through to here.
we
And
didn't compromise on South Bedford. Why are we compromising here? Those people had no choice.
Those people have huge yards in South
Yeah.
Bedford.
yeah, these are
Huge
these are
yards.
very, very
Because of
small.
school also.
When you buy in one of those developments, that's a fact of life.
And we'll have this up on the monitors too out there for everyone to see.
Dave, you're saying they don't have them going down here?
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Yeah, and I think
I
that's
don't
what
think so
that's
either,
what the
yeah.
developer had indicated last time.
Right.
We didn't do it previously
They
on
said
the
they
side
were.
streets.
I thought said they
No.
were.
No, the
He-
main.
he misheard Dave.
Yeah, no, because even the first two don't have them on the off branches. It's just the main drag.
Are they gonna do a parcel 3 underneath the wires? Because it looks like they've been taking
I don't know.
things down. Can you find
There,
out?
yeah, I'll ask their attorneys
Okay.
here, so.
It's usually not advantageous to continue a whole section underneath a set of wires. I don't think the utilities will even allow that.
Well, they can go so many feet, just like
Yeah.
Berkshire, and next time, hey,
Dave?
I have
don't-
everything underneath the
I don't think
wires.
they are, because their emergency to get off of ledge is over here, so I doubt that they would develop there, because that's where all their emergency access is gonna go.
If we could just double check, because speaking to the property owner, the original property owner, there was discussion of another phase.
Yeah, sure.
And they're not overly thrilled, because they lost all that.
Yeah.
Thank you, you're gonna put this up on the screen? Do you need
do
this
that.
back, or is you gonna
Well,
give it to
you'll,
Josie?
I mean, you may want to include that as Exhibit A to the ordinance you're
Okay.
passing tonight with an amendment.
All right,
Just
then
make
we'll
sure I
have
get it
Josephine copy it.
It's already set up, Mark.
Pardon me?
So Dave has to amend.
Yeah, a motion to amend the ordinance to add that document as Exhibit A would be the motion.
Okay, Mr. Finley, got that? Give you that, make sure I get it, Jeff.
So,
At least you don't have to add it to the agenda.
should we do 2 and 3 on this then?
I don't see any reason.
What's your
to hold it
recommendation?
up. Yeah,
All right.
2 and 3, or just 2?
2 and 3.
Okay. Thank you. Next one up is the time clocks. Vinnie, I'll ask you to take that one. It's number 15. Mayor, do you want to speak to this, or?
Yes, so way back in the day, and Janet, I believe you were here when this turmoil was going on, but we had our former finance director, and there's a lot of things being passed that were, I guess, not up to par, and we recognize that. And when we were going through this, the whole intent with our technology upgrade was to have everyone on the time clock system, because it ties everything together, including time off, earned time, everything all flows through that instead of using paper. So we obviously recognize in here that it just excluded the safety forces, and we obviously want to put them into there so that we're all on the same system, that's what, using it what it's intended for. So that's what removing that would do.
And permanent part-time employees.
Yes,
Just out of
Questions?
curiosity, what do they do today? Paper time cards?
it's all paper.
Oh, okay.
I believe in the police department, it's all paper, correct? And then, we're paper, and then we're putting it into a spreadsheet, and I mean, it's not very efficient.
The time clock started the first of the year, I thought.
So they did, and obviously, again, with
These
this
are
being in
excluded.
there.
But they were just
Yeah.
excluded. So the safety forces are still doing paper.
And we intended this all the way through, but the service department is the most complicated, so all these different rules that apply with the time clocks now, we're working through that. The benefit we have now with Mr. Veras here, they have the same system in Independence, so they went through this with their police and fire, so we have an asset to try and alleviate a lot of those problems when we go into this.
With Kyle too.
And Kyle as well, yes.
Now, Chief, does this help your situation with paperwork and the flow back and forth?
I haven't a clue.
Okay, that's an honest answer, Chief.
I haven't a clue.
From an administrative perspective, obviously, this
Right.
helps.
I just wanted the chief's opinion if it, takes some work off of them and his administrative assistant.
I would only assume.
Yeah,
I don't know who does the timekeeping for you guys.
I
but-
do I do my own department's time. I don't know, we're working through some of the glitches, how it's gonna be implemented to police and fire, I'm not sure. There are issues that John's having, they're working through, that are then my understanding, the mayor says, once these bugs get worked out, then it's gonna come to us. I don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot of variables we have to work through, and when we started this, we all recognized the fact, and you could probably attest, well, both of you can attest more than anybody, there's a lot of bugs you gotta work through to get down to where you get into a fine-tuned machine, so.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Where are the time clocks located? For ease of your department and the service department?
They don't have them yet, but we have one upstairs, and then we have them at the service buildings, and we can add more, but we're just trying to be conscious of the cost, because I believe each clock was, what, 1,000, was it?
About 1,900.
Are we gonna add one down by
Yeah, we'll have
where
one
the
in
fire
fire and
and
police, they're
safety
secure areas.
forces instead of?
Yeah, they'll
Up
both
and down
have their own
those
clocks.
We already have them. They're in Kyle's office, ready to go. We just could not
Okay.
implement them because of this exclusion.
And Angela has time clocks already?
Yes,
Okay.
but she got the upgraded version.
Any other questions?
I have a silly question, and if you guys don't know the answer to it now, it's not a big deal, but you have guys that work like non-city jobs, right? Like, they'll go work at Cinemark.
Yes.
They wouldn't technically come into the building, right?
They're not paid by the city, they're paid by the.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
perfect.
And there are manual entries that we
Right.
put in there.
So you can see how that would
Yeah,
create
absolutely.
a challenge, right?
What's your pleasure? Madam Foreman?
1, 2, 3 on that,
1, 2,
Jan?
3, yeah.
Okay.
This impacts the employees, not the residents at this point. Money's already been spent. Okay, next up then, Ledgeview Road Water Main Replacement Project. Jessica, you'll take that one.
So this one is, we went out to bid, this is the project that's funded by Cleveland Water. I don't know if, I think you guys got the copy of the bids that came through for that.
Yeah.
You will notice that there was one that was lower, I'll let Mr. Gelati explain that, but put simply, they had an incomplete bid that was missing about 5 items that are pretty vital when you're giving an engineering estimate of what the cost would be, and kind of some important pieces that they should have had there.
Yeah, that's right. We had our bid opening last Friday. You guys have seen the results of those bids. There was one bid that does not appear on those results that was submitted for a price that was a little bit lower than Fiorito Construction. However, to the mayor's point, there were 5 different forms in the bid proposal that they just did not submit. Therefore, we couldn't even consider the bid. So we consider Fiorito Construction the lowest and best bid, and ask that we move forward with Fiorito.
And also Cleveland Water, again, is paying for this, and they've also agreed, after seeing this and us conveying that information to them, that they agree with Fiorito being the lowest and best bid for us to take.
Yeah, as a funding source, they're in agreement as well. So.
And when will this start?
It'll be this spring, once we award a contract and we have a startup meeting with the contractor, we can have a more firm schedule.
And how long is the anticipation?
It's
I think it was in the bid
not,
document, wasn't it?
yeah, it's
They said about
less
2
than
months.
2 months. I'm going to say we're out there. It's
Couple
not
months.
very long.
Okay.
Are you gonna be able to coordinate them? But didn't Specialty do Robin Lane, the water and the,
No, that was two
There's two
separate
separate
contracts. Yes,
so
Okay.
that you should be able
it'll
to.
be similar to Robin. Yes,
So you'll be able to coordinate pretty good?
exactly.
Alright.
Yeah, yeah. I expect to
Ask them the
see.
same question.
Smart.
Any other
And-
questions?
Been down this road before.
Do you have any comments, Mr. Legal?
Summed it up very well.
Okay. You always keep us on the straight and narrow. Hearing no disagreement since Cleveland Water, do we have to, we didn't put that anywhere in here. Do we have to put that somewhere in here that this is being reimbursed or being paid by Cleveland City Water?
Cleveland doesn't require it to be.
No, and I don't, we might have done it in the legislation approving the bidding.
I just don't want anyone suddenly going, not in there.
No,
I don't
they'll
have to.
reimburse us for it.
It's Cleveland City.
If we,
There's a
worst
paper
case,
trail,
we-
there's a
we go
paper
back.
trail already, Jan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
Okay,
They-
so will this eliminate them sitting at Crow and Berkshire?
No, this is drinking
Okay.
water, not sewage water.
We got a paper
Sorry.
trail on that one too.
Literally.
I want that job. I want to just sit in the truck and watch the water pump. So, okay, any other questions, comments? If nothing disagreeable, since we already approved to go to bid, this is approving the money. Are we paying it and then being reimbursed, or are they paying it up front?
They actually give us the money up front.
Cool.
So once we take this step to award the contract, John and I can work with Cleveland Water to receive the money so that we have it on hand to pay the contractor when the job's complete.
And your hope is still to start in the spring?
Absolutely.
We'll talk red tape. You don't hear anything, 1, 2, 3? Okay. Then our last one on tonight's agenda, Mr. Garbus. This is, NOPEC has opportunities that we always offer for grants and for energy. Mayor, do you want to explain it?
So this
I'll be
is,
abstaining, obviously. I'm on NOPEC.
this is the last grouping of dollars that we're getting for the lights that we added to Longwood Park. There were 3 payments of, I believe, around 44,000, I think it was. So this is the last piece of that supported, obviously, the majority of that cost. We came in a little bit over that, but this is the grant that we were given and accepted and funded those extremely expensive lights that now beautify the park.
It'd make it easier to see at night.
It's also helpful to see the ball when you're
Yeah.
at lights.
Questions? It's given money.
Yeah.
If you don't ask for it, you don't get it.
Right.
Okay, hearing none, I'd go with 1, 2, 3 on that. Joe? Thank you. Mayor, do you have anything else?
I'm going to ask for an executive session this evening to discuss employee, Mark, want to help me out on this? I need the legal jargon here.
Yeah,
Personnel
Mark's gonna,
employment.
Personnel employment.
Mark and I spoke about it. He's gonna have to write it very particular.
I have a question
And you
about
can
the
hand
no-pick grants that we've
Just
been
write it
getting.
in English so I can read it. Okay.
Sure.
It's difficult. Anything else anybody has to talk? Yes.
I just want to ask a question concerning the no-pick grants we've been getting. Have they installed the charging docks yet?
No, I don't. Where are they at delivery of that? Do they contact
They
you?
just said February, so I was waiting till the end of the month to follow up.
So I'm on the board, and I think the last time we were there, they said that they were working on getting them all to everybody, so there's a lot of them. It's not just us. But we'll have,
And how many stations are we getting to? Just the one, and it'll be at the rec center?
it's a pretty hefty one. Wasn't there 100 stations in that?
I think there's less than that, but it can accommodate quite a few phones at one time. And they lock to secure the people's
Right.
phones, so they're not just leaving them exposed.
Or in a locker.
Yeah.
Unlike, I heard something that occurred about someone's locker and car keys and a car disappearing. Is that true?
I have no idea what you're talking about. No, I have not heard that.
We have had, we've had some other issues with the smash and grabs, but the chief will be talking about that tonight. A couple of those occurred at our rec center, but he has a video he's going to display and kind of talk about what's going on and what, we can't really say what we're doing because it's, I guess, not in our best interest to tell them what we're doing, but we're obviously on top of it. We're not going to just sit back and continue to allow that to happen. Also, one other thing while you give me the floor. I got a call last night. We have the project going on Crow, behind Crow for the sanitary, which you referred to the gentlemen that are out there every time it rains. The hope is that that project back there will help alleviate that problem, which we know is sanitary tied into a storm, which is obviously pushing the sanitary up, and that's why they're out there to avoid that problem. Last night I got a call around about 11 o'clock from a resident that said, hey, there's something running over here, and the contractor had left the loader running all night. So we had a good conversation.
With the door open.
Yeah. I thought they were keeping it warm, but they left the door open, so I don't think that was the
No, it was
Do we know they did it, or was it kids, you know?
If
You don't leave the keys inside of a loader. That's
okay.
kind of silly.
Either you or Joe can talk again tonight about what that project is, because I got a lot of phone calls once the pipe showed up. So everyone's asking, what is this?
Sure.
And it's just out on the floor, if you could do that.
Yeah, we can do that, and I can give you the 15-second synopsis right
Right.
now. It's the county.
You have been mentioning it at every meeting.
Yeah, I think you're right, Josie.
But when the pipes show up, every resident
Yeah, it's
doesn't
service
watch
time.
every meeting, and
Sure.
they ask what's going on.
Sure.
So
Yeah, the county, of course, is doing the work. It's not a city project. They are realigning sanitary sewers, and they are also reducing the number of times that the sanitary sewer crosses under Indian Creek itself. So the hope is that the straighter realigned sewers will flow better, and the reduction in the number of times that the sewer crosses under Indian Creek will help to reduce the amount of infiltration you get from the creek into the sanitary sewers. It's not going to be the 100% cure for the problem you referenced earlier, but it is a part of the solution.
Is that the same project that was going on Ledge Road the other night?
No,
No.
completely different work.
Totally different area.
What is that that's going on? I also got asked about ledge, about we had cranes or something.
Yeah, they had a lot of equipment out there the other night.
Yeah, I don't know. It certainly appeared to be an emergency repair by the county because it came out late
Yes.
in the day with lights and traffic signals, and by the next morning they were gone.
Right.
So it was.
Yeah, I was wondering because there was temporary traffic signals up.
I saw it
And I
too,
wondered
yeah.
how long that was gonna be going on.
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
figured if it was still there the next day, then I'd call.
Yeah, I don't know the details, but it was clearly an emergency repair they had to make, and they were gone by the next morning or something.
This is the traffic for the school buses. Anything else? Any department head have anything?
No, I was gonna mention something. So it was brought to my attention of several things about the January 9th minutes. In the executive session, 2 former council members were named. I've since changed that. The spelling of ways was incorrect, so I changed that. And then I had put in regarding the election, vote by voice, and it was in fact roll call, so I had fixed that. And I also would remind anybody who is in a voice vote, if you're abstaining, you need to be very vocal. If the recorder's not picking up, sure in heck my ear's not picking it up. So you need to be very vocal in that regard.
So you're stating that the minutes have been already adapted?
Those things have been repaired, so
Okay.
I feel that they're inconsequential, so they don't need an amendment. Is that correct, Mr.?
Yeah, that's fine, so approve it as is, yeah.
Anything else? Okay, we have some time to hang out.